So time for a portfolio update. This was the PPI CPI week, which is just concluded. So let's go through. I mean, first I'm going to start with the DXY, then the yields, then, gold, silver miners, then my actual portfolio of miners. So let's start with DXY. We noticed, I made a few videos during the week, but, we popped out of this descending, but without a meaningful breakout. No close above the descending. I mean, except this one here. But by then, we were just waiting for CPI Thursday and then PPI Friday. And for me, I said it, until we get a close above, I'm going to say 102.6, at least 6. Everything else is a false alarm, and we didn't get a close above that level. So for me, it's still unconfirmed. I actually have a bit of a bias to the downside just looking at this, but I'm going to do what I rarely do, and that's actually look at some individual currencies. Look at the euro, US dollar. Look at this ascending. And if we close below the ascending, maybe that helps the dollar. So watch out for that. Otherwise, a close above 1.1, that should help the euro and then not help the dollar. So watch those levels, in my opinion. Also, US dollar, Japanese yen, another currency that really helps the weighting of the DXY. It's really the euro and the yen. We're also in a bit of an indecisive. Like for me, this horizontal is a level, and we're pretty much closed, on that level. So until you get a close above 146.5, that will help the US dollar continue. Otherwise, I don't know, you could have a continuation down towards this ascending. So it's just, if you want to get extra detailed, you could look at those currencies. The others don't really count too much. I mean, the pound against the dollar, very weak weighting in the DXY, but you can see we're approaching long-term resistance there for the pound. So, let's see. Also, the Canadian, not really relevant. But yeah, euro and dollar, watch those levels for the DXY. But for me, it's still unconfirmed until you get a close above this. Otherwise, if we start to see a close below, 102, let's say 102, because you've got these tails here, these little shadows, but a close below all of them and below the round number, that should really take us all the way down to 100.8, not even 101, 100.8. And the old lows. And you know what? You could even say that this is now finally irrelevant. So I'll delete that because we retested it and we broke out of it. So the rest is kind of irrelevant. So that's the DXY. Let's look at yields. Now, look at the 2-year. That's meaningful stuff. That's significantly down. That's the Fed funds rate. That's a very important one for me. The 2 and the 10 are the most important. The 30 also recently, but the 2 definitely for the short term. Look at that big drop. Where's support? Honestly, I don't see anything until around 3.8, like below 4. I don't even see 4 support, by the way. I just see 3.8, just because, that's where the bodies start, let's say, the openings and some of the closes. But obviously, we went lower when we were trading down here. So I want to say 3.8 to 3.6. Now, I don't see us going all the way down in one go, but you know what I mean? We've closed below this level, this line here. You can see it was resistance here. This is when it wasn't obvious. I remember this flush. I wanted to wait for the pattern to make itself because there was no obvious support at this point. But anyway, point is now we're trading below this level, 4.3. You can see it was support, and we meaningfully closed below it. We flushed it completely. Now, compare that to the 10-year, which is not down too much, obviously down also. And the 30-year, which is actually, okay, that's not exactly a bullish candle, but, that was a green day. That was unchanged. So imagine the 2 versus the 30. That's actually something we can do. You can compare. I rarely ever do this, and you don't really need to because we just looked at them individually. But imagine you do this, 2 versus 30. Look at that level there, ready to flush. This is I mean, for me, that suggests yields, like short-term yields going down, long-term yields holding or going even up. So that's some crazy action in the bond market. So I think gold will be reacting to that, and I think it favors gold. Okay, let's look at gold real quick, because this is not exactly a video on yields. Gold did very well, very well. Unfortunately, didn't close above 2050. That would have been a really nice round number to do. We did reach as high as 2060. Let's look at the 3-minute. I love the 3-minute. Bam, up we go, down we go. But look where we closed. You can tell if the tape had kept going, we would have gone up to, above 50, 54, 55, and then maybe even 60. So I look forward to Monday. I think that's a good, you know, that's good price action. Did we close above this descending? Just. Sorry, let's go back to let's go to the 15-minute. Look at that. Okay, that's not the best drawing, but it doesn't matter. Look at that. Of course we did. We definitely did. We breached above it, we retested it, and we were ready to keep going, like I said, but the tape ended. So it is bullish, despite, not closing near our highs, despite giving a lot back, it's still bullish. You can have green days where actually it's bearish because you gave back so much, but that's still good. Let's look at silver. And by the way, next resistance for me, 2080. It's all about 2080. We need to close above 2080. Look at this. It was very weak looking candles, silver the last couple of days. And look, we went all the way up, hit resistance perfectly. 23.5, right? That's one of the numbers I said. Look at that. This line's been there for a while. It was support, it was resistance, and therefore it was resistance again. But again, a bit like gold, it would have continued had the tape kept going. Let's look at the daily. Look, I know we didn't close near the highs, but saying it's following gold. We just need to close above this 23.5. Just like gold, we need to close above, well, 2050, but that's very close, and ultimately 2080. And when gold's at 2080, I really want silver to start testing this zone, 24.5. And you know what? It's time for silver to outperform. So we just need more of the same. Okay, miners. Nice gap up. Not the best candle. It kind of suggests you want to fill that gap. I mean, even when you get really bullish candles, eventually you fill the gap. Not always, but tends to happen. When you got this kind of a candle, it suggests the gap fill is inevitable, unfortunately. But look, it's still a decent gap. Look, the day before on Thursday, we closed down here. That's okay. We bounced from the lows, but it's hard to get all the way up there the next day. But we did. So up 3.5% on GDXJ. That's nice. By the way, I added this line, after the close. I thought, what an idiot. Of course, that's a level. Look at this support here, support there, resistance there. Of course, that's a level. And also, it happens to be the middle point between this channel, pretty much. And if you look at all of them, SILJ, same thing. Absolutely the same thing. Support there, resistance there. And there you go, resistance on that day. Also the middle, roughly. And GDX, same thing. So by and large, they've got the same charts. So what happens next? We need to close above the horizontal. That's it. Do we gap fill? I don't know. If we do, it'd be nice if it did it early, on Monday or Tuesday, just like go down, okay, retest done, let's go up. Maybe there's a mini flush on gold early, just as market opens or something, and then rally and then close a high of day. And then Tuesday, we're up here closing above this. And then for the rest of the week, we're testing up here. That would be realistically an ideal situation. Monday early close gap, just so it's done, whatever. Otherwise, whatever, keep going up. And then, but I think the first level is, and I'm talking for SILJ, GDXJ, and GDX, let's close above this horizontal midpoint between these two levels. And then we really have a good chance of testing this upper range. All right, that said, let's look at the actual portfolio. Newmont, which I was not happy with. Look at this, horrible. And I'm checking some of these. I'm checking for the first time, actually. I mean, I was sort of busy watching all of them and the GDX and the general charts. But I mean, I could tell Newmont was just weak. Look at that. That's so bad. And thankfully, I've spread my weighting. So Newmont a few months ago was by far my heaviest holding. Right now, it's like my third or fourth heaviest. So it's these four that tend to be worth the same. But Newmont, because it's been so weak recently, it's actually lost its place. So at least there's that. But look, close at low of day, not great. Obviously, the miners were giving back a lot towards the end, and they gave back a lot of their gains. But this should be up 2-3%, at least. So. And also it come down like on this day here, I think it was just down when the others were up. So it has been weak the whole week. What it needs now is the miners to just help it go all the way back up here, the whole index and the metal. Very disappointed in Newmont. You zoom out, I mean, you're talking about probably the biggest company. It's in, generally speaking, sound shape. I think in a few months from now, 1.5 years from now, we're trading all the way up here. I really do believe that. I think between here and there. So I think this is a 50 to 100% upside in 12 months, roughly 12 to 18 months. So that's what makes me calm down. But otherwise, weak price action. I mean, if you have a gap close on on Monday, when the gap close happens, it will probably be testing its 37 range. And you just need a really strong bounce. You need Newmont to start outperforming immediately, to start having bullish candles to be able to match the others when we do bounce and go all the way back up. Otherwise, if by some chance we have an absolute flush in the miners and the metals, I mean, Newmont will be the first to start losing this zone. A close below 37, and you're testing 35, the lows, the 34 to 35 zone here, basically. Yeah, so very weak, but still, fundamentally, it's got a lot of things going for it. All right, Barrick Gold, look at this. A lot of them actually did well, bouncing off their ascending, and it's all about the close. So even though it dipped its toes below, it's okay. It closed within, and look at this nice bounce. This basically matched the GDX, up, like I said, 2.5%, 3%. That's good. If we have any sort of continuation, we will start testing this zone here. 18 is a nice level, but because we ventured above that, I think it's time to say this is the level. I'm just gonna put it a bit higher because we've got this zone here, the support over here, but really it's the old high. I mean, let me just do this, whatever, it's the same thing. 1850, right? You need to close above 1850 and preferably 1860 to close everything. And then we go to 20. So can we do it? Yes, we can. We can do it in 1 to 2 green days. I can see Barrick Gold all the way up here. Let me extend this. It might become relevant later. So yeah, let's go all the way back here. And then we can start testing 20. Then we zoom out and see all the old other lines. They're all there for a reason. 20 is general resistance plus this big round number. And by the time we get to 20, we start testing this huge descending. And then, to be honest, this won't even be relevant by then. So that's what I'm going to have. That nice and simple. Let's get to 20. If we start to drop, I think all you got to do is concern yourself with the Thursday low, right? If you close below this 17, especially the Thursday low, 1690, let's say, then you're looking at a drop probably down to here, which is where a lot of the stocks did actually go. A lot of the stocks, they started to test this range relative to their GDX. So what do I mean by that? So December, like mid-December, let's look at Newmont. Yeah, that's what I mean. Mid-December, Newmont did it. A few of the others did it. We'll come across that. But Barrick Gold, that'll be its next zone after it loses Thursday on the way down. So very, very strong relative to others. And for that reason, if we have the miners and the metals going up, this should really quickly get to 1850 and very quickly get to 20 if we start closing above 1850. Okay, Agnico-Eagle. That's okay. Yes, we ventured outside the ascending, but a few of them did that. You have to look at the general GDX charts, and you have to watch the gold, silver, and the dollar. So you're allowed to venture outside this ascending. That's what I mean in those kind of circumstances. But yeah, the candle's not the best. It's only it's less than 2% up, but it's okay. It's still strong, compared to Newmont, for example. Higher lows. We also tested, look at this support over here, resistance over here. So for me, it matches the GDX chart perfectly, which is quite helpful when you're trading. You've seen the miners. It's good to know that the miner you're trading is following the general GDX and hopefully outperforming it. So if we start to go up, as long as we close above here, so let's say 54, big round number, support and resistance. So above 54 close, we're going straight to 56.5. And once you close above 56.5, you're probably outside of this descending. You see a lot of them on the next move up, they're going to be breaking out of their own local long-term descending channel. And that takes you really to a squeeze, takes us straight to 60 and then higher if everything is in lockstep. So Agnico-Eagle, not the best candle here, but really like several days away from a major breakout. If we start to close below, let's say 50, well, especially here, below 50, okay? Below 50, because by then you're, sorry, By then you're below this level here, which is serious resistance and obvious support from here, and it's a big round number. So if you close below 50, you're going to start having to look to, 47s and this range. But by then, there's obviously something that's gone wrong because Agnico-Eagle is a very strong stock and it's in an uptrend. So to go all the way down, you probably, by then Newmont is all the way down probably. So still looks good. Pan American Silver, just what it needed because that was not a good candle. And again, this is one where I've got the ascending, but it's kind of a false signal because of the GDX chart. That hadn't really lost its ascending, and gold and silver and the DXY had its influence, and so did CPI and PPI. So kind of was a false signal for a lot of them. Like here, here we closed evidently below the ascending, but the next day forced up and up 5% is very nice. You can see we tested the highs of these days. The next thing it needs to do really is close above, yeah, I would say 16, big round number, and then you're pretty much guaranteed to go to 17. Nice and simple. I remember this one, this big round unit. So let's close above 16. Then we test 17, a close above 17, something we didn't do. I remember we were very close down here, 1690 something. Yeah, once you close above that, I mean, this again, another one that's going to meet, it's descending, it's long-term local descending. Look at that. You could squeeze the 20. Okay, so that's pretty good for Pan America. On the way down, honestly, a close below 1450, and you're going to go all the way down to the lows. I don't see why that wouldn't happen. A close below 1450, something's gone terribly wrong. We're in for another flush, and one big flush takes us to 1350, at which point there should be some serious buying. So, yeah, 1450, 1350 on the downside, and then on the upside, 16, 17. And once you close above 17, watch out. Okay, Wheaton Precious Metals. That one held pretty good here on the ascending. A few of them were dipping, as we've already seen, down to their like mid-December lows, but this one held up. This one I re-added to, by the way. I don't know if you've been following the story, but I had trimmed. I only held a third up here. I basically bought back 2/3 down here. So I'm back in full position. And yeah, it wasn't up the most there on that Friday, but it doesn't go up too much, but it doesn't go down too much either. And I'm in it for those reasons. So it's a bit of a defensive royalty stock, something that generally over the months should just climb up and be pretty stable. So I don't see any trouble unless we close below 47. Close below 47, maybe we dip down to 46, basically. So nearby support, and then we'll see. I don't really see us going below 46, but if we do, then well, next serious support is 42, but it probably won't get there in one go. Probably stop off at 44 or something. On the way up, more likely, let's first close above 50. And to be honest, if we close above 50, we're going all the way up to these highs up here, 52, 53. So yeah, 50 is the only 50, definitely 51. Yeah, that one looks good, and that's why I bought it. Okay, Franco Nevada. This one I bought back down here, 105 point something. It's I mean, this chart doesn't look like the others because it had a flush from the Pan American operation issue. I didn't even look into it, don't care too much. It's a big stock, it's a nice stock. The chart speaks for itself, and I know that it went down more than the Pan American operation was worth, Rick Rule words. So that was enough for me. So I bought this thinking it'll be a double bottom. Let's see. So far, so good. Anyway, levels. Let's see if we can close above 114. We close above 114. It's hard to tell how high it'll go up. I would expect it to go up to, yeah, here. Let me extend this so it's more obvious. Yeah, probably 122 or 120, up here 8, because by then, I mean, that's a big move, but by then you're going to encounter some resistance from this descending. Yeah. On the way down, really, if you're closing below 104, 104, you might as well say 102, because if you're below 104, you're going to visit 102. And if you're visiting 102, you start to look down and you say, okay, where's your next support? It depends, like how long, how many days have surpassed. I would look at the ascending, but otherwise, yeah, I agree with the prior line I've written, which is 95, 96-ish. So around here, I'd be buying again. I'm not going to buy anymore until we get down here, because I've already bought twice. I bought, I think, around here, 107, and then it went down. I didn't touch it. And then 107, 105, which is the same thing. So I basically bought the same area, which I rarely do. I just bought because of the actual sector I thought was going to make a bounce. So, and I didn't buy too much of Franco Nevada. So I bought this zone. I don't want to buy again unless it really flushes. Or, for example, it goes up a lot and then comes back down. I think I'm trying to buy the low of that drop. Then I'd buy that. That's the only way I could buy it at the same price is if it goes all the way up and then retraces, and I think it's going to turn and go back up. So I bought this zone, and I think, yeah, next stop is 114, close above that, and we go to test 122 to 126, put it that way. And on the drop, I'm not touching until 95, if it even does it. Okay, Metalla. You can see these are the 3 royalty I've got. So I'm very happy to have them. They're all worth the same, actually, too. It's a bit like these 4 here. Okay, Newmont's not worth that much, not as much as the others now, but they're all generally worth the same. These seniors, these 3 royalty stocks are also worth the same. So my portfolio is rebalanced, as they say. Now here, Metalla, you can see how it's perfectly held at $3. And I thought it was going to flush actually on was it this day here, or well, actually, no, sorry, it's a more recent day. I just thought it's starting the day around 3 and everything went down. And no, sorry, it's Thursday. Look, Thursday, right? Thursday was a big bad day for the miners, and Metalla just held. It held the whole, it even had a green day when everything else was down 2, 3, EXK was down 8%. It's just some of them got obliterated. And Metalla was just green, I think, unchanged. So the next day was good. Point is, 3 has really been a very strong support zone. So for all those who think gap fills happen no matter what, Thursday was the day it was supposed to happen for Metalla. It didn't happen. So for me, I'm starting to look at the upside, and it did break out of a little descending. So I bought my position down here too. Just finished buying my position down here because I bought some at the 280s. Anyway, I'm up in the green on Metalla, and I think the ride is just about to begin on this one. I see us going to 4 pretty soon. But the point is, first stop is a close above 320. Let's take out Thursday's high, and then I think we're going to go all the way up here, 350, 360. I don't know which one really will be the true resistance, but I think we test that very quickly. I think it'll be a bit of a squeeze on the way up. So 320, 350, 360. After that, 4 on the way down. If we close below 3, maybe below 299 or something, yeah, this gap fills straight away, 290, which I'm surprised hasn't happened. Otherwise, 270 lows. Okay, let's look at the silver stocks. This retest here, I didn't think that would happen. Yeah, the silver stocks really got smashed on Thursday because silver was down more, and those are the ones that get beat up the most, let's say, on really bad days, and then good reversal. Not the best candle, closed near the open, but look, it's a big gap. So it's still up 5 and a bit percent. So despite looking like a bad candle, 5.5% is not that bad. Didn't venture into the gap fill at all. So next step is to close above 580. That will straight away fill the gap at 6 big round number. So 580, 6, 660. Those are levels I see. Once you're closing above 660, especially 7, zoom out and remember what you're in for. You're in for a squeeze to 10 or something, really, especially if the sector helps out. Otherwise, if you're closing below 520, you're testing the lows. You're testing the 460 zone. I don't see 5 as support, really. So it can go either way. I think it'll go up. All right, that's AG. Let's look at Fortuna, another one that was pretty good recently, maybe even better, didn't go down as much. It held its little support 350 quite well. That was nice. Good bounce off the lows there on Thursday. And then up we go. 390, it gave back a lot like the others, but still nice. It's up how much? 4.5% more. So on the way up, first thing what I need to do is close above Friday's high. So let's say 390. Any close above 390 is for me almost guaranteed move to 420. And 420 is the only level. I used to say 4, but nah, 420. Because look, that's really the high. We even tested it recently here, 415. Once you close above 420, honestly, 460 will be quickly done. I don't even think that's heavy support. You're probably going to be looking at the mid fives. Just zoom out to remember what you're in for. Just as they got destroyed on the way down, they should go up quite well too. You know, this isn't just a one-way street. So once we close above 420, up here, at least. Who knows? We could go all the way up. It's quickly 100%. So, you know, a lot of these stocks are really close to putting in some serious moves, putting in some significant closes. Now, on the way down, first level is below 350. If you do close below 350, I think you go all the way down here, 320, which is not that big a move. It's like 10% or something. And if if you keep going lower, then I think you should find support. I don't know, 280 or just, 260 to 280, something like this. But we're a long way away from that. So on the downside, 350, 320, 280. On the upside, 390 mini level, 420, and then 460, 550. Okay, EXK, my absolutely worst of the worst. Now, I can't tell you how ferocious I was in my anger here on this day, Thursday. It had bad news, like was it earnings or costs were bad? I don't care. Down 175, closed the low of day, down like I don't even know how much percent. I think it was more than 8. Yeah, 8, 9%. I thought, great, the only thing that can save this is PPI, which is exactly what happened. They actually reversed the whole thing. And now we're back to where we were a few days, the whole week at the beginning of the week. Also, by coincidence, completely in line with the same levels. I mean, yes, it did close below this one here, but so be it, it doesn't really matter. The point is we're now testing this descending. Now, the good news is that momentum is on the upside, given that Friday was a bullish day. So let's see if we can close. I was saying I'm getting out of this one, but no, I am getting out of this one. But I'm going to at least let it try and break out of this because this one could, it was up 7.5%. So that shows you that it can go up more than the others because it's been destroyed so much. It should definitely be sold, but maybe after it exhausts its upside move. So if we can close above 2, right? Forget this, 195, let's close above Friday's high. No. Let's close above 2. It's a big round number. It's also above the descending. Let's close above 2. If we can close above 2, we go to 230. If we can keep going and close above 230, yes, this descending will come into play, but this horizontal is also quite big, this 275-ish one. So maybe, I don't know why I didn't do this before, but let's say we can do that. It'll probably happen quicker than that, but do we encounter descending resistance or do we keep going and then encounter this resistance here? I don't know which one. Depends probably on the miners and the metals and the DXY and the yields and all that, but let's at least get this done because this is just horrible watching EXK. It's just suffering and just absolutely horrible. I would love to, basically my plan is to exhaust, as soon as I think it's going to reverse and go back down again, if it does break out a decent amount, I'm just going to dump it and then try and get like something like Hecla instead. I don't own Hecla. I like it though. I prefer to EXK. So imagine the GDX is, the whole mining index just goes up, up, up. EXK does this. As soon as I think they're going to retrace and, go down 4% or something, hopefully get out, whether it's here or here. And then, once the miners just go down and they're going to curl, I'll buy Hecla. That's my plan. Wherever Hecla is, whatever the chart looks like. But basically try and get out on the local top in EXK, the short-term top in EXK, and buy the the end of the drop in Hecla, hopefully. So that's EXK. Next one is CDE. Let's just get rid of this. Okay, CDE. This one came down a lot. This one I bought. This one I bought on Thursday, 262. I bought it 262 or 263 on Thursday. Yes, I remember buying it and thinking, oh, this is a bit risky, but I bought it because of this level here. I just thought this is a bit of a level, and I just thought it done too much. It done too much, and it's my favorite one. I thought we are going to move up. It was a bit of a risky bet, but it seemed to have paid off. It was a very small nibble, though. Even if it went down, it wouldn't have meant much. Uh, and it hasn't meant much since it's gone up either. But it's, a decent buy anyway. So we held this zone for me 260. This zone here is actually a bit of a support level. So let's just cover the levels on the way down. If we close below 260, we're probably going to go lower than 240. But for some reason, 240 I still see as a bit of a level. It was resistance here, bit of support here. And it's a mini level, let's say, before we go to the absolute lows, because you're not going to get to 2. You're going to get to 205 or something. So yeah, I'm going to say 260, 242 on the way up. This is now irrelevant. This is now relevant. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Okay, so obviously we have a gap fill also. So if there's a drop, it may just fill the gap and go back up. But they all have a bit of a gap fill. CDE. So let's close above 3. That's a big round number. There's also the high over here, so 301 or something. Next level is here. That's also a gap fill 320. That should be done very quickly. And then, yes, it was support and a bit of resistance. Then 335-ish. It's an odd number to have as a level, but I do think it's a mini level. Otherwise, up here, 350, that's a bit better. If we're closing above 320, I think this used to be a level, but actually, I have a feeling 350 is the new level. It would be the new level. If you can close this gap and get above 320, I think 350 is a level. And then obviously the 370 high. Yeah, those are the levels I see in CDE. Again, my absolute favorite for the moves up. Okay, Discovery Silver. So this one here, 50 cents. I bought this one, by the way, also on Thursday, 0.50 something near the low with CD around the same time. Just making the value of the stock back to its the value that I want, let's say, because it dropped a bit. Plus, I thought it was the low, and I kind of got the low there. Now, below 50, a close below 50 should take us to roughly 45. I think that's a mini level just because of this, actually. Also a few here, but also because I think it's too much of a drop to get to 40, which is the last level. So 50, 45, 40 on the way down. I think I've had the same levels for a long, long time. And by the way, you zoom out, you can probably see, yeah, and then I think it's every 10-cent increments. I don't see us closing below 40, not for now anyway. A close above 55. Yeah, okay, 55 should take us all the way up here, I think. 62. And then after 62, we've got this 65 zone, and then 70. So quite a bit of resistance to take out, quite a ways away. But there you go. Once we close above 70, I keep reminding myself it's a quick move to 1, very quick, and that's a big percentage move. So this is high risk but huge reward. So, and I think we're near the low. So yeah, that's what I'm looking at in terms of levels. Let's look at the more miscellaneous ones. So Aris Mining, ARMN. Yeah, this one's held up very well. Oh, look at that. It touched the level perfectly, 310. I wasn't sure about 310, but it looks like it was correct. These are lines I've had in for a while here. So yeah, 310 was correct. Nice, hit that. And then up we go, 345. This one really looks like it wants to continue. Over here, it started to squeeze before the others. Retest was wonderful. And honestly, you've seen a lot of the other charts. This one's very, very strong. So let's cover the levels on the way down. A close below 310 takes us to just under 290. a close below, let's say 287 should take us all the way to ascending support. Depends where we are in terms of time, but probably around 250, just above 250, 260 by then. That is not happening. On the way up, a close below Friday's high, 345, let's just say 350. It takes us to 360, 365 actually. And then once we close above this, and this could happen easily next week, very fast. I think it will actually. Then we start going into this area here, 480. That's a long way away, but there's no serious resistance. $4 is not resistance. Look, what happened here? Nothing. No support. We didn't retest it yet, but it's just a vacuum. And over here, I don't see much until maybe 460 to 480. So a close above 370, and as long as everything else is in agreement, let's say gold, silver, DXY, markets, whatever, everything is giving the green light for gold to continue. And the miners, yeah, this should go all the way up here. So I like that. I really, Aris mining for a long time has been very good. Okay, let's look at mag silver. Just like EXK, horrible. Thursday made new lows, closed below what I thought was support. And it probably was, but you know, PPI sends it up. You can't have a red day after the whole sector's up green from PPI. So, but look, we're still hovering near the lows. Horrible stuff, horrible price action. You know, what if we have a red day for the miners on Monday, Tuesday? This will just go back, test 950. Basically, 950 is the level. That's your support. 950. And after that, $9. Because I probably, these are levels from before. Yeah, $9. Look at this. If I really want, I can just extend it to remind myself why. It's also a nice round number, but this one, like EXK, probably worse than EXK actually. Just want to get rid of it. Just want to get rid of it, but I'm not going to get rid of it on a red day. I'm still looking for a move up in the sector, and I want to try and dump that before the sector reverses. And you know, the money I have in mag is just better in a different stock. It's just I prefer in Agnico-Eagle or Coeur d'Arlène. You know, you're more likely to get your money back in Coeur, or Fortuna or whatever. Just mag is not working. So, but look, I still think we're going to go up. So to cover the levels on the way down, $9.50, $9. That'll do for now. On the way up, well, let's just close above 10, shall we? That's also Friday's high. And then, yeah, I see basically 11, 11.20. That's the level to take out. A close above that, and you're up to 12, but that could take weeks. Mag is just not good enough. Right, GLGDF, that's Gogold. Not the best price action, but look, it's this ascending is probably not useful at this point. Okay, so 90 cents, a close below 90 on the way down should take us to 85. Below 85, we're going to 77. That's what I see on the way down. On the way up, if we can close above, let's say 1, right? We might as well close above 1. We can go all the way back up here, this all-important 113, 14, 15 zone. And then you can go all the way to 130. But that'll be important to close above that. That will definitely take us all the way up here, because you're taking up this resistance that's lasted, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then it'll be 6, you know, consecutive resistance points. And plus you're taking out its local descending, and that also hit many times over a large period of time. So it's very strong resistance, and I think it would break if we test it again, because it probably means the sector and the metals are going up a lot. So same as last week, basically 113 and then 130 on the way up. Okay, let's look at my last one. Sibanye-Stillwater, SBSW, which by the way is a bit of a platinum palladium play, and they have not been, I mean, look at platinum, just weak, still weak. Look at that. Despite the move in gold and silver on Friday, look at this, all the way up, close at low day. This is very bearish stuff. Actually, it was a red close. Palladium, right? Look at this, all the way down, descending. Love to play it. My favorite type of chart to break out of, and we did break out of it. Whoops, let me do the 15 minutes. Sorry. Look at that. Bam, we broke out of it. You can see it's a real breakout. This retest that's too much. You're not supposed to go all the way back down after a series. This is a serious breakout. You don't go all the way back down. Then it rallied again, and look at that. It's just giving it all back. So this is a very weak breakout, and it's got the best things going for it. It's been destroyed for a long time, and it's broken out with all these other assisting factors, DXY, yields, gold and silver, just very, very weak, actually. And to me, honestly, we're going to go test all the way back down to the lows. Look at that close at low of day, fails to. So very, very weak, very disappointing. However, that makes the move in SBSW all the better because it still held all these gains. And that's pretty good. What did it do though just before on Thursday? And I didn't even notice this until I did the charts. I think it was on Friday morning or something. I didn't draw the ascending, but I checked the ascending. It hit the ascending, which by the way, the low also closes this gap here. It was the high from here. So touched it perfectly and then bam, it was up a lot actually at high of day. So pretty good, all things considered. The next thing to do is to close above 540. And then we go straight up here to 580. And then after that, honestly, the sky's the limit. It can go to 7 and 8. And I keep those levels in because I think it can make quick moves. Now, on the way down, if you start to close below this low down here, let's say 485, or close below 485, well, you're pretty much going to close the entire gap. So 470. And then all the way down here, yeah, 440. I agree with that. And then the absolute low is $4. That's SBSW, all the levels covered. Okay, subscriber miners, EGO. Oh, look at that, touched it perfectly. So 1180, that's nice. Held, very nice. Up it goes. Gap fill with a gap, that's pretty ironic. Next level, I don't think I need to change anything here. 1360-ish. This ascending, does it become resistance? Not really, because by the time it does that on Monday, you're pretty much testing this anyway. So I'm going to remove that. It's just too steep to really count. So yeah, that's it. Keep it simple. Support, let's just cover the levels on the way down. 1180, right? This zone. Below that, honestly, below that, you're probably going to go down more than just 20 cents. Let's get rid of that. If you close below 1180, next support is really 1050 or just below 1030, 1050, this zone here. And below that, yeah, 850. That's a long way away. On the way up, 1350. Well, first let's close above Friday's high. Let's say 1350. And then, yeah, 1450. I remember that one. That looks okay. Hecla, the one that I want on a drop in the sector. First of all, gave back a lot. All right, didn't even really venture into the gap fill zone. So levels on the way down. Well, I guess Thursday is low. If you close below 4, you know what? Let's stick to $4 because even if you close below 412, yeah, you're just likely to test 4 anyway. I don't know. I don't want to ruin the chart and say there's 410 and $4 is a level. Okay, anyway, Thursday's low is a level, right? Obviously, if it goes below that, then it's probably going to go a little below 4 because this is so close. So let's just say 393-ish. This zone here, just before the gap fill. 390, right? Let's just say 390. Let's just do middle of the range. So 410, 390, and then the absolute low at 360. Those levels on the way down. On the way up, a close above 450, big round number. Also the high pretty much of these two. And you should be taken to 470, and after 470, well, you're probably going up for another reason. So let's just say 5 to 510. Those are the levels there. B2 Gold. This one, I read a report on it the other day, and it looks like it's got really good life ahead of itself on long term. So let's say late 2024, 2025. And I don't really read into miners too much, but I have more respect for this one now. I only look at the chart really, and I do see a lot of support here if it does flush. And honestly, I would buy it there because of what I read about the long-termness of it. So yeah, more respect. And I haven't really looked at this chart since reading that report. Anyway, let's look at the levels. So on the way down, let's say, yeah, $3, right? If you close below $3, $2.95 is the same thing. Then you're gonna go test the lows, 280. So $3, 280. After that is the other level I've got here, which by then will probably be 250, right? Because it'll take several days for that to happen. So 3, 280, 250 on the way down, on the way up. Once we can close above Friday's high of, let's say, 320. Yeah, 330, very significant because you'll encounter the descending. 330 and then 350, and after 350, 380, and that'll take care of that. Okay, SSRM Mining. Oof. I would have expected a bit better from that. Look at that, 0.6%. On Friday, you would have expected more because it didn't go down as much as the others because it's already been destroyed. But you'd expect what doesn't go down does go up, but it gave back a lot. So that's pretty weak. I don't own this one, but I wanted to, or I still want to. But I think I'm willing to buy Hecla more for the upside because I still think we're going to have a decent upside move very soon. Okay, let's cover the levels. Actually, this is actually here now. Let's be honest. Support is 10. Okay, doesn't really matter. 10, 15, let's say. 10, 15. You close below that, you go straight to. Actually, go below 10. Do you? What do I have? Yeah, this here, this COVID low. Okay, so 10, 15, then 980, then 9. Those levels on the way down. On the way up, you can see, look at these little tails here. A close above 10, 1060 should do it. Takes us to the descending resistance, which might be around there, just below 11, 11-ish, and then 1140. Yeah, okay. Once you're taking this out, you're going to squeeze. You'll probably squeeze to 12, big round number. And then you also have this support. Yeah, this one's a bit rough. It's like between this area. I think I remember this one. It was a bit of a rough one. Like this. Should have a bit of resistance there. Not too obvious on the way up here. 12 and then 1250 to 13. But then you're encountering the descending. I don't know. I'm not in a hurry to get this one. I might not get it. I just feel like it's been destroyed. It's a good stock. I've known it for a while. It's well established, and I would buy it because I think it's not going to go down as much as the others. But that doesn't always mean it goes up more. And I'm in the mood to go up with things. And I think if I'm going to buy a new stock, first of all, I'm only going to get rid of something to buy something new. I'd get rid of like EXK or MAG. And I'd definitely buy a Hecla because then it's silver for silver. But this is also a bit of a silver stock, but I just think it moves a little slower. And I think we're more likely to go up than down. So on the way down, I'd prefer to hold SSRM over Hecla. But on the way up, I'd definitely prefer Hecla over SSRM for this type of reason. You know, Hecla up 5%, SSRM not even up 1. Okay, that takes care of everything. So sorry for the coughing. I just sometimes have this bit of a cough. It takes a while to get rid of. Let me know if you have any other miners you want me to cover. And let's see what happens next week. It's exciting stuff. And I really do feel like we're going to have this, 2080 gold close and the miners finally outperforming and showing a bit of a breakout and outperformance compared to all the other sectors. So anyway, let's see. But things are pretty exciting. So I look forward to doing these videos. And maybe I'll start doing a portfolio update midweek. Then if you guys would prefer that. But I might add that in because it's my favorite one to do. It does take a while. It takes an hour or something because I have so much to cover. Anyway, good luck. Enjoy the weekend.